All right, we gotta get a drum roll going for this. Y'all ready? Yeah, totally not worth the drum roll. So what these are two adjustable riser clip-ons from this company called Apex. Now, I was gonna go with the ABM multi-clip handlebars, which are basically the same thing, like the same idea, but this is a American company and ABM is German. They're commonly used on cafe races, I guess the ones that come out of Europe, because if you order them, then they ship from Europe. They don't really ship from the United States. But I have a history with these. These are actually the bars that I ran on the SV1000, so I do have some experience with these. Unfortunately, when I sold the SV, I actually put the Woodcraft bars that it came with, I put them back on that, and then I sold these separately when I had them. I only sold them for like $100, and these things retail for like well, I think like 300. Yeah, because I had the max rise ones, so they were like 390. They were 299. But anyway, as you can see, they have some real rough damage. So these came off of a 2012 Yamaha R6, which makes sense because this is actually the same clutch perch that I have on my FZ1. So I recognize this. I can actually use this and keep this in case I need to. These must have been on like a stunt bike or something, because this is that's just gnarly. You know, if a bike goes down, then it's usually the bar end that gets screwed up, and I can see it's already kind of screwed up, but that's something different. This is like the bike went lunchtime or something. Like the bike flipped, because this one is damaged. That's the worst of it though. It gets better after that. This one isn't too bad, especially the clamp. Like this little post has some damage on the top. Like this bike definitely hit 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock and beyond. I'm gonna strip it down to bare aluminum and then just sand it down, like to even it out, and then just either powder coat it or paint it. Because here's the thing, I only paid $37 for these shipped. I figure, you know, why not just take a risk and get these for $30-something and see how they come out if I just refinish them myself. So I can't really do this part to slide all the controls on. And whoever had it before, they ground this down to get whatever they put on there. I'll leave these alone because these are gonna be hidden anyway. But these parts right here, I gotta get those refinished. I can show you how this is supposed to work. So this is supposed to go around the fork. These are 50 mil. I think a lot of sport bikes run 50 mil forks. So these came off of an R6, but the forks that I have, which are GSXR, they're the same. It's the same diameter. That goes around the forks, and then you take this. So you slide that through, and you have all of this room to play with how high or how low you want your bars. So you don't have to like do it like a typical sport bike where it's kind of like that and then the bar is coming out this way. You can put it over here, then have it come out this way, or you can put it to the front, have it come out this way, or whatever, you know, whatever you want to do. All these different options. So that's the main reason I got them for the second time. Now you take the bar and then you have this little dowel right there on the end, and you have a bunch of different holes in there. So you basically place the dowel into one of these holes, and then you get different angles. It angles in different ways, so you can kind of get that downward angle. That's why it's kind of like crooked. So if you put it in like that, it'll kind of angle down. If you put it in this way, it'll angle up. So you kind of see that little angle that it has to it. And then to lock it down, you just put this little bolt right here through this side, and then that threads through there and into this. So that's an example of an installation. So if it's level with the forks, you can kind of see that the bar is actually angling down. Only real damage is that nick right there by the bolt. When it comes to this ring, this has this obviously. Actually, this post right here came with that set of bars, but I switched them out because the damage from this doesn't work too well with the damage right here. So this works a lot better with this side because it's much more smooth. Also, actually, turns out this has been worn down, so this needs to be leveled out and kind of evened up. Luckily, this is the clutch side, so there's no throttle or anything to go on there, and there's still plenty of room left on the bar, but you kind of see, line it up with this one, we're actually missing a decent amount of bar right there. So that all must have been ground down in whatever crash this thing has found itself in. So like I said, my plan is to refinish these, so whether it be painting or powder coating. If I could pull that off, then it's basically a saving of basically $250, because I got these for $30. If I could get them up to snuff, then Man, that's like incredible savings right there. So I had to try it out at least. Man, just let me know what you think about that. If you think I'm crazy for trying to work with something like this. So these actually just came in the mail today. This is a throttle housing. This is a Domino slash Tomaselli housing. This is actually for a Ducati Monster. So this is a direct swap for Ducati Monster, but it'll work just fine on our bike. And this is actually a Shindy slash Nissan brake master cylinder for the front. It's a 19mm piston. The problem is that I'm running such a big brakes, so I can't run like a 17mm or 14mm or the smaller sizes. I have to run a big boy, which is a 19, which makes it very expensive, but actually managed to get one of these used from Amazon. So on Amazon, they posted for like 200 bucks, but this one is used in the warehouse. Well, it's classified as used, but what I think it is that the packaging is just damaged. So, and then they also claim that there was missing hardware, but I could see the hardware in there. It might be missing like a bolt or two. But luckily, what I really was concerned about is whether or not it had that little clip that clips to the handlebar. You can see right there, like this piece. But it has it, and it has the one that mounts to the bottom of the master cylinder with that little bracket right there. Because I know it's supposed to come with two. It's supposed to come with that one and the one that doesn't have the mount for the reservoir. Sorry, not the master cylinder, for the reservoir. So, it might have been taken out the packaging. They might have put it back. That's why it's got tape all over it. They probably just took bolts out of it. But it's looking good. Let's open it up and see if everything's in there. Everything that I need. So we got the bracket for the reservoir, and I'm assuming to mount it to the cylinder itself. My camera's dead, so I don't even have a tripod right now, unfortunately. This is my cell phone. Oh, this is nice. So we got these. Let's see if this mounts up. Let's just see if this is the right bolt for this. No, it is not. So what is this for? Oh, okay, I see. So this goes through the reservoir. I wish I had my DSLR right now, so I can put this on a tripod, but just bear with me. So that goes through there, and then mounts to this bent part, and then this part goes right here. I guess whichever distance you want to put it. But this goes through there, which goes through this bent part right here on the top, and then you put this This nut on the other side. But I have these two, which are mounted to the handlebar, but I'm missing this. Now I'm gonna just look around and see if I happen to have the right size for this bolt right here. So check it out. These are actually some bolts, some banjo bolts for like a brake system. And these are just left over. Like these are from the BMW. Some of these are from the 2013 GSXR. Some of these are from the 2005. And some of these are actually from the SV1000 too. So I just have a bunch left over. But check it out. It's the right size. Now, obviously the threads don't go all the way up because it's a banjo bolt. Because I don't think I have a proper bolt this size, but like I can at least mount the reservoir and, you know, just get an eye for it and then maybe just buy the same size bolt so I can fit this. But, you know, I'm actually very happy with this because, well, one, look, the sticker is actually still on there. So, I mean, it classified it as used, but the sticker is still there, like the warning sticker. I took 2 washers and just mounted it under that little bracket right here. This little rubber thing where the hose attaches to, you can rotate it. So I rotated everything so the hose doesn't have a kink in it. And when it's all done, I'll probably run a clear one so I can see the fluid. Yeah, everything's mounted up. Got all the hardware I need. I was kind of worried. I didn't know what was missing because it wasn't very specific. It was just saying it was missing some hardware. So what I think it was missing was this thing on the top, this bolt right here on the top that you mount the reservoir with. Obviously, we already covered that. And the other one that doesn't have this little mount right here for the reservoir, because I know they had come with a second one with this kit. But yeah, man, $200 retail. Only paid 68 bucks for this. And this is brand new. This has never been used. They just missing a couple things. They probably just took it from here to put in another box or something, or maybe it just fell out because the box was damaged. Yeah, that's a good score. This goes along with the score from the handlebars that I bought. Yeah, man, savings all around. $68 for a $200 product. I can't be more happy about that. So let's pop open this throttle housing. So this right here is a throttle tube for, like I said, a Ducati Monster, like a late model Ducati Monster. I guess a lot of people don't really like the OEM throttle tube on there, so they kind of switch it out. But this is from Italy. This is from a company called Domino, and people commonly run these on, you know, vintage style bikes. But it's a single pull throttle, so you only got one cable coming out this tip right here. So instead of doing like a kind of like a push pull cable, can't really have a push cable, but you going like this with the throttle actually closes the throttle bodies. But the K100 only has a single cable going to the throttle bodies, which isn't ideal, especially if it gets stuck. There's no way to kind of, you know, yank it close. So if the throttle bodies get stuck, you're kind of out of luck, but that's how they did it. So these came with these basic OEM Ducati grips, which I won't be using, but it'll be nice to kind of mock them up for right now. I actually have some chocolate grips on the way, some built well thruster grips. They're the brown ones that people run all the time. I think some people are gonna say to get rid of this big silver lever, but I actually like it. It kind of looks old school, so I think I'm gonna keep it. And my clutch side, which is also coming, actually has the same type of silver lever. It also has a brake light switch, which is great. So I managed to get a little bit of charge on my camera, and this is the front end. So got some Brembos on the front. I know I said I was gonna get silver, but I couldn't find any for a good price. I cleaned them up and they cleaned up perfectly. And I'll go into more detail on the actual episode, but I'm really proud of those. Some Koremoto stainless steel lines, and we have the gold banjo fittings, the smoked stainless steel like translucent lines. And these are the regular 2013 GSXR length plus 2 inches. So I gave myself a little bit more playroom. So, you know, because these bars they adjust a little bit. So, I mean, I plan to leave them here, but that gives me a little bit of playroom. This R6 clutch perch is still here is because, like I mentioned earlier, this is actually flared out from the whatever crash this thing got in. Yeah, it's flared out on the top mainly. So that's kind of where it got bent up. So I'm gonna cut that off because I can't actually get this clutch perch all the way off. It gets stuck at the end. So I'm gonna take this bar off, chop that off a little bit because, I mean, I plan to chop this side off too because this side is long. I mean, this side got ground down, but I'm gonna make them as narrow as possible. So I'm gonna make it real compact looking. But I don't wanna cut off too much because I don't know how much I need yet. But I'm gonna cut off just enough that I could get this perch off. So how I plan to do this is I'm going to use this clutch perch as a guide so I can keep my cut straight. So you can see it stops about there. So I'm going to bring it back like, let's say like right there. Then I'll tighten it down and I'll just cut along that line. So it didn't quite keep it straight, but got it off. So after fighting with this thing like crazy, I managed to get everything fitted up. The reason why it's in the bathroom is because the bathroom has the best lighting of the basement. It's kind of yellow over there, but this is like a nice white. But anyway, starting with the throttle, I can't really rigidly mount it because it has that little tab in the middle where you drill a hole into the bar. So it's kind of loose, but yeah, it's on there. I had to get rid of that little rubber nipple that kind of runs through there, which is a shame because I kind of like it. But this end is where the cable is going to come out, and I'm going to route it through there. As you can see, I got plenty of space to do that. I put up the old headlight just to see if nothing was in the way, and everything clears. Eventually, I actually had to move the reservoir from mounting right here, and it's mounted to the end of the handlebar. So it goes through there just perfectly, and the angle is actually perfect too. So it kind of goes like this and it makes an L. And so the reservoir mounts right there. The hose needs to be shortened, so instead of coming like this, it'll just go straight to it. So I can angle this part. So this needs to be shorter. I'm gonna get a much smaller brake reservoir, and I'll probably shorten this bracket just to bring it back a little bit, because as you can see, it's like right over the headlight. Or maybe bring it up. Whatever the case may be, it needs to be pushed back and maybe down or up. But yeah, everything mounted up. The brake lines are connected to it. There's no fluid in there, but they go back down to the calipers, which have the pads in them. Everything is good. Only thing now, oh, by the way, this actually just barely fit. Like, that's literally all I have left, and this can't go any further this way. So it just fit. Like, I got real lucky with this. But what's gonna go here is the blaze turn signal. So that's gonna fit just perfectly right there, which is fantastic. This side is the side that I didn't get crashed on, so it's longer. So if you look from the front, you can see that that side is obviously a little bit longer. But I'm gonna cut it down to the same length as this once I get everything mounted up. And you might notice that there's no controls on this side. That's because I'm gonna put all the controls on this side. So it's gonna be turn signal, grip, 6-button control, and then the clutch. And I'm gonna condense everything down and then cut the bar to length. Right now the clutch side is in the male. So the clutch perch and the lever and stuff, it's just basic OEM like Honda. So it kind of looks old school like that with that machined lever. And the grips too, so the brown grips, which kind of will stand out against all of the black and gold that's on the front. Like I said, I'm gonna get this part of both sides powder coated just so they match. I could probably get away with just touching it up with like a black paint pen, but yeah, it looks really good, even with the damage on there. Like, you could run that because it kind of gets hidden by all the stuff in front of it. But once I get the other side, it's gonna look a lot more symmetrical. And I'll probably throw a picture up on Patreon or YouTube just to show, how it looks. Also, front wheel still isn't powder coated, but I did clean it up and it cleaned up really nice. But I'm still trying to figure out the wheel. I might just do the wheels last, get everything else set up, and then, figure out what I'm gonna do with the colors and stuff. Front end is looking really good, if you ask me. You're getting there.